When does civil disobedience become immoral? In order to answer that question, we first have to define morality and civil disobedience. The word morality comes from the Latin word moralis, meaning manner, character, and proper behavior. Civil disobedience is the active, professed refusal to obey certain laws, commands of a government or of an occupying international power. Now, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, morality is a person's standards of behavior or beliefs concerning what is and what is not acceptable for them to do. In Buddhism, there are no moral absolutes, and it is recognized that ethical decision-making involves a complex nexus of causes and conditions. It was a Buddhist monk who came up with that, an anonymous Buddhist monk. Atheism, the person decides for themselves what is right or wrong. According to the Quran, having righteousness interchanged with morality, it is stated, "It is not righteousness that ye yearn your faces towards east or west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah and the last day, and the angels, and the book, and the messengers." That's in the Quran, that's chapter 2, verse 117. According to Gandhi, morality is the basis of things, and truth in the substance of all morality. Basically, morality is the base of all things, and that base is made of truth. For Christianity, morality starts in the Garden of Eden, in the beginning of time when Adam and Eve bit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They then decided what was right or wrong. God's good standards were impossible for humans till Jesus gave his life to make it possible. A biblical example of civil disobedience is found in Daniel chapter 3, verse 16 and 18. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego would not bow to the golden statue King Nebuchadnezzar had made. Now if you are ready at the moment you hear the sound of the horn, flute, lyre, trigon, psaltery, and bagpipe, and all kinds of music, to fall down and worship the image that I have made, very well. But if you do not worship, you will immediately be cast into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire, and what God is there who can deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to give you an answer concerning this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the furnace of blazing fire, and he will deliver us out of your hand. O king, that we are not going to serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." King Nebuchadnezzar was trying to force Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to bow down to them, but they disobeyed, even though King Nebuchadnezzar represented the government as king, of course. Martin Luther King Jr. to many is an expert on civil disobedience. To him, what made civil disobedience just or unjust was whether the law or situation the people were fighting against was unjust or just. King believed it was not only justified but necessary for civilization to obey or to disobey an unjust law. We know this from something Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "One has not only a legal but a moral responsibility to obey just laws. Conversely, one has a moral responsibility to disobey unjust laws. I would agree with St. Augustine that an unjust law is no law at all. One who breaks an unjust law must do so openly, lovingly, and with a willingness to accept the penalty." Martin Luther King Jr. So the answer is, according to Martin Luther King Jr., is that civil disobedience becomes immoral when the people do not comply with a just law. According to Martin Luther King Jr., an unjust law is a law that his conscience tells him is unjust. Though how is law to be enforced when a doctrine preaches that one man's conscience may tell him the law is unjust, when the other man's conscience does not tell them that? Yes, it's food for thought, and I leave you guys to think about that.